intimate connection, you need trust, you need control, you need safety. And that's a big problem when you have trauma. They have to feel safe. They have to feel they're comfortable in their own skin. They have to feel accepted. And then they have to feel like they're allowed to be vulnerable. And if they show their vulnerability, like, they're not going to be judged or labeled as broken.
When we talk about intimacy, we often think about desire, connection, even pleasure.
But for many people, intimacy can also bring up fear, confusion, even shame.
Good evening, I'm Dr. Joseph Lee.
And I am Czai Chua. Tonight, we're talking about how trauma and shame shape the way we experience intimacy.
Sai, let's start this by what? Let's talk about trauma affecting the brain when it comes to intimacy. You know, they always say that the brain controls everything, our bodily thinking, right? So when we have history of childhood trauma, you know, all those history, it might come back to our development. Do you think it's
Of course,
correct?
It's very possible, Doc, no, if you have trauma, especially back then when you were still a child, when you were during your childhood, of course, it will really affect how you become more intimate with your partner.
Yes, especially for those who have been sexually abused, not only within the family or external. When I say external, mga relatives, diba? We know that you in the news, diba? Then it becomes a problem when these are not resolved, because most of the time the children don't really express it and communicate to their parents. Yeah.
And they have fear inside their bodies, and so it will be very hard for them to express themselves and to be more intimate.
Like what you said kanina, no, Shay, is like shame. They don't like to be embarrassed. And the shame would come in later on as they develop themselves. And I think this one has to be reconciled with, and really professionals should come in if ever this becomes a more prolonged trauma, not only to your behavior and later on when you go into adulthood, right?
Yes, Doc. So trauma, especially sexual or emotional trauma, can reward the brain's alarm system. The amygdala becomes overactive, so even safe touch can feel threatening at the same time. The brain's pleasure system can shut down. The body may go into fight, flight, or freeze.
Freeze. So, ibig sabihin yan,
Naglalamig, sir?
ibig sabihin na naglalamig.
Naglalamig.
No, yeah, I think this is, when you say freeze, it's like because of that past sexual abuse that has not been really resolved, and children tends to take it when they grow up. So, up to even when they get married, diba? Yeah, I think they go into marriage, but when they see the situation again, it brings back very bad memories. Huh? Do you agree?
Yes, Doc, I totally agree. Those traumatic experiences will really affect how you communicate, how you give how you treat your partner.
Yeah, especially when you were mentioning a while ago, Sai, with regards to intimacy to touch. Well, during the time that you were molested, the initial reaction was touching you. So your husband becomes the molester, which is not, but because of the history back then, right?
And maybe that's the reason why some people pull away from the intimacy, because the brain is sending the message that, oh, you have to protect your body.
Yes, agree.
No. And yes, it's when the body shuts down to survive, and many people misunderstand the freeze response. Not reacting doesn't mean consenting. Sometimes it means the body is overwhelmed.
And this is where shame comes in.
Exactly, there's a big difference.
And there's a big, let's unpack that. Guilt says, I did something wrong. On the other hand, shame says, there is something wrong with me. And trauma often creates that second belief.
Yes, especially in early childhood trauma, people may grow up believing, I am not worthy, I am damaged, I am unlovable.
Even if what happened to them was not their fault.
Exactly.
Now, can we connect this to mental health? How do anxiety and depression, intimacy, okay, like what they're saying, right, diba, Sai? All this unresolved sexual assault, okay, trauma during childhood, even adolescence can go into a anxious and deflecting, like what you were saying, shame, not only to the body itself or to your partner, and creating a good intimacy.
Yes, that's why it's really important, Doc, that your partner is mentally, psychologically healthy, so that the relationship will be very good.
And understanding, I think, Sai, is very important, no? Like what we're saying, how do you understand when you are not into that science, di ba? Like the husband, you know that there's something wrong with your wife, but you as somebody who probably has developmental trauma also, that becomes a cycle of difficulty.
And the problem is how to ask your husband or maybe your wife a professional help.
Right.
And how to bring it up and discuss things together.
Yes.
Affect in very real physical ways, anxiety floods the body with stress hormones, reduces arousal, depression numbs the reward system, nothing pleasurable.
Feels, how about medications? We know some antidepressant can lower libido, delay orgasm, affect arousal.
And yes, but that doesn't mean people should stop medication. It just means we need better conversations with doctors.
Agree. You have to find somebody who is sensible enough that you can talk professionally and mentally, I think, you know. So if someone is struggling sexually, it's not necessarily about attraction or desire. Sometimes it's about mental health and the baggage from the past. Lagi ko sinasabi sa'yo, how would you understand if you yourself doesn't really intuitively know, right?
And if you're not perfectly fine inside, that will be the problem. Hindi ka talaga, you cannot really react and you cannot give your very much self to your partner when you are not whole inside.
Yes, exactly. I agree with you.
And when we come back, we'll hear real stories of people navigating intimacy after trauma.
Here on
Naked Minds.
Ngayong umaga sa Doc Truba, meron sa ating mga ka-DTV ang naghahanap ng mas murang paraan para mapaayos ang kanilang ngipin. Isa na rito ang tago at ipinagbabawal na DIY braces. Pero ligtas nga ba ito o maaari itong magdulot ng mas malalaking problema sa ating oral health? Yan ang ating aalamin.
At Jerome, hindi lang oral cavities at tooth decay ang dapat nating bantayan pagdating sa kalusugan ng bibig. Dahil pati ang ating gilagid ay maaaring maapektuhan. Ano nga ba ang gingivitis? At kailan ito dapat hindi binabaliwala? Yan ang ating hihimayin kasama ang isang medical expert.
Yung reason kung ba't nagkaka-gingivitis is yung biofilm na dumidikit sa ngipin or yung nagfo-form sa ating ngipin.
At ang inyong mga katanungan tungkol sa gamot at oral care products, ating sasagutin.
Abangan sa Doc Truba ngayong linggo, 7:30 ng umaga. Dito lamang yan sa IBC TV 13.
Likas na makulay, puno ng buhay at sigla, pinagtibay ng kasaysayan at pananampalataya. Yan ang kulturang Pilipino. Halina't sumama sa biyahe, mga kulturista.
Ako si Carl Senya at ito ang Kultura.
Kultura, tuwing Sabado, alas 11 ng umaga sa IBC 13.
Mula sa mga kabundukan, talon at tagong paraiso ng kalikasan, may isang grupong patuloy na nagbibigay halaga sa paglalakbay na may layunin. Sa pamumuno ni Christian Manalili, ang bawat paglalakbay ng Tanaw Explorer ay hindi lamang tungkol sa pagtuklas na magagandang tanawin, kundi pati sa pagbuo ng mga karanasang may malalim na epekto sa mga taong kanilang nararating. Halina't samahan natin ang Tanaw Explorer sa isang paglalakbay na magdadala sa atin sa mga kwento ng pag-asa, pagtutulungan at pagmamahal sa kapwa. Ako si Bob Ferrer at ito ang Good Stories. Sama ka, kwento natin ito.
Balita, serbisyo, opinyon, lahat yan mas pinaigting.
Buenas tardes mga amigos at mga amigas. At syempre, ang inyo po magiging kaboka-boka kabeso-beso ngayong araw na ito. Walang iba kundi si Senyor Ray Pacheco sa pag-aatid namin sa inyo ng tuloy-tuloy at sunod-sunod na mga balita sa mga pangyayaring nagaganap ngayon sa ating bansa. At syempre, kasama natin ang buo ng reportorial team ng The One IBC 13.
Hindi pwede rito ang lamok. Madali nating maiiwasan ang dengue kung susundin natin ang tamang mga paraan. Narito ang mga simpleng paraan para iwas tayo sa dengue. Una, tanggalin at linisin ang pwedeng pamugaran ng lamok. Takpan ang mga water drums at pails para hindi maimbakan ng tubig. Linisin din ang mga alulod at alisin ang mga dahon at dumi na pwedeng pag-ipunan ng tubig. Maglagay ng screen sa mga bintana at pintuan. At huwag kalimutan, itapon ang mga gamit na hindi na magagamit tulad ng lata, bote at jar na pwedeng pamugaran ng lamok. Ikalawa, protektahan ang sarili. Magsuot ng mahahabang pantalon at long sleeve na damit, lalo na kapag lalabas ng bahay. Gumamit din ng insect repellent ng regular para maiwasan ang kagat ng lamok. Ikatlo, magpakonsulta agad. Kung ikaw ang iyong pamilya ay may lagnat na tumatagal ng higit sa 2 araw o may ibang sintomas ng dengue, huwag nang maghintay na lumala ito. Magpakonsulta agad sa doktor. Panghuli, fogging. Oo, fogging. Pero tandaan, magpa-fogging lang kapag may outbreak o hotspot ng dengue sa inyong lugar. Hindi ito pang araw-araw, kundi pang laban lamang sa malalaking kaso ng dengue. Maging ligtas sa dengue, kaibigan. Payo mula sa IBC 13.
Welcome back to Naked Minds. But there's more common than people think. With us tonight to discuss such stories is, of course, the ever-famous Dr. Kathyrn Natalie Tan, Fellow of the Philippine Psychiatric Association and International Fellow of the American Psychiatric Association. Welcome to Naked Minds, Dr. Kat.
I'm most honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so to start the ball rolling, we have some notes for you. These are little stories. I don't know if they're little stories for for you to and Zai for us to discuss on what are your thoughts about it? Okay. So, two separate snows have reached our desk, and to ensure their safety and respect, the requests for confidentialities were made. We will keep their identities anonymous as we address their concerns.
These are stories we don't often hear out loud.
I look okay on the outside. I laugh, I work, I show up. But when someone gets close, I panic. Sometimes I want intimacy, but my body says no.
Doc Tan, your thoughts about this note?
You know what, Sai? That sounds like classic trauma response. It's like the mind wants to do something, but the body does something else. So we can see that whenever they feel very uncomfortable with a situation, and then perhaps they want to be intimate with their partner, they want to get close and build that relationship with their partner, but at the same time, their body has a different response, like they're trying to distantiate or protect themselves. So it's like a conflict between the body and the mind, and the body is trying to protect the person while the mind wants to do something else.
Would you think, Doc Kat, these are inherent long history of trauma, either developmental trauma, whatever trauma that they have been not expressed or communicated well, or with some specialists or some individuals that can help them out, that has not been what do you call that, substantiated and really work out for them to really improve whatever they are, whatever trauma they have.
So that could be a possibility, that because there are different types of traumas. So it can be like adverse childhood experiences, child abuse. It could be in the form of neglect, because actually neglect is the most common form of child abuse. It could be also like emotional, verbal, psychological abuse. But it also can be something more serious, maybe molestation, sexual assault, or seeing like their parents, these people, how their parents interact with each other, and the example that is shown is very dysfunctional. It could be also like a combination of all these traumas. So yes, it can be several. It can be several, and then at least one big serious trauma, or like it could be like long-lasting, perpetuating trauma that the person has experienced up to present.
Would you think that, like Saya, would you think this developmental trauma that has not been treated can later be behavioral differences that the individual can develop later on when they mature?
Yes. So actually, a lot of times, well, for all of us actually, we learn how to survive based on what we experience as children. And a lot of times we're not fully aware that our decision making or actions is being led by what we experience as a kid. So, for example, I see somebody who works themselves to death. I wouldn't be surprised growing up, for some reason, the message that was instilled in the child was your self-esteem is based on like your output, like your grades. So if you don't work, you have no worth. So growing up, they imbibe that message, and then they work themselves to death without realizing it's causing harm to them already.
Doc, my question is this, if the person is not ready to ask help professionally, what is your advice?
I would say respect.
All right.
Wait for the right time. Because the best time to approach when it comes to mental health is when they're ready, and it has to be voluntary. Because
How do you know, Doc, when you are ready already?
well, usually they're the ones who would approach us,
Okay.
and then understanding like the Filipino culture. Admittedly, the stigma is very heavy when it comes to psychiatry.
Okay.
So a whole lot of times they come to us like as a last resort already. So in my years of training in psychiatry, what I would experience, they went to the albularyo first.
Yeah.
And then we even have like a center for exorcism already here by the Catholic Church. And then sometimes they feel more comfortable seeing psychologists first before psychiatrists because they think seeing a psychiatrist is like the worst case scenario already. So usually when I encounter someone who voluntarily approaches a psychiatrist, I guess that's the advantage to the stigma. It's like probably this person is ready. Although there are cases as well when their loved ones are the ones who force them. And then you can feel the hesitation. So, like, I have to clarify, like, are you ready for treatment? Because these are your options. But if not, you can come back when you're ready. It's like no problem.
But you know, Choc Joseph and Doc Kath, that's the problem kasi po no, in our Philippine culture.
Yes.
Because sometimes we really feel shy to ask help professionally.
Yes.
And that's where the problem starts.
Yes. And I would say that also stems from childhood. Because what I realized, it's sometimes it can be considered a trauma response.
Okay.
Usually these people, like especially women, like strong, independent women, it's like I will not show weakness. I will not ask for help. Probably growing up, most of the time they were left alone. They had no one to count on. So they were always by themselves. So what imbibed in them was, it's like, I cannot count on everyone, so I have to do everything by myself.
Yeah.
So that's why they have that facade, like strong, independent woman. But what they're actually showing are trauma responses.
But sometimes it becomes indifferent in the sense, no, Sai, wherein the parents have mental problems themselves.
Yeah.
And it exudes down to the child itself. They're like saying, I'm okay, but my child seems to be not on the proper mental health stuff.
I actually see that a lot.
A lot? Okay. So how do you adjust to that?
Okay, like most of the time, so I see the child, usually they're adults already or much older. And then I notice like the parents have behaviors. So, and then I would also notice like whether maybe they need medications or not, but most of the time they're not ready.
Yeah.
So if the parents are not ready, at least the adult kids are ready. So at least from there, I can like educate them, talk to them about what they're going through, like process what they went through. And then because also when it comes to psychiatry, there's something that we call biopsychosocial and spiritual formation. So we would like to understand how the person ended up with this type of condition.
Right.
So biological, so we talk about genetics, inheritance, the neurotransmitters, like favorite namin mga dopamine, serotonin, or epinephrine, like oxytocin. And then next we talk about the psychological. So upbringing, consistency of mothering, attachment, relationships, and then adverse childhood experiences. And then the social. So it's like the environmental, like school, friends, the type of people this person grew up with. Like what were the challenges that they experienced? Kasi baka naman like war-stricken country, or like finances were tight. And then spiritual, so there is a lot of recognition that also spirituality is very important. So different yung spirituality sa religious, ha? Yeah. So when we talk about spirituality, it's yung mga principles, beliefs, like in terms of like if there's a higher being and each has their own higher being. So it's a multifactorial observation that we would have on our patients so that we could better understand how they came about to have those symptoms. So when it comes to so I was pointing out, like when it comes to the parenting, so that's the part that's genetic, and then that's the also psychological, because growing up, they're the children, the patients are the ones exposed to how the parents would like take care of them. So example, the parent, him or herself, is anxious.
Okay.
So very controlling. So, konting lakad lang ng bata. It's like, oh, don't go out, you're gonna get kidnapped and stuff like that. And matatakot siya. So parang aside from the genes, you're also giving the environment that it's like, oh, be afraid because the world is not a safe place. So it wouldn't be surprising later on that possibly they would also manifest anxiety symptoms as an adult, and then they pass it on, kaya't may mga generational trauma.
Okay, well explained. Now, let's go to the second note, Cora.
I love my partner, but I don't always feel safe in my own body. And I don't know how to talk about that without feeling broken.
So, for your medical standpoint, what professional advice would you give this person?
You know what? It sounds like perhaps she has like issues about being comfortable with her own body, self-esteem maybe, how she views her body, and then maybe she's anticipatory that she's going to be rejected. And then if she shows her vulnerability, like she will be labeled as broken, or there's something wrong with you. I wouldn't be surprised, like growing up, probably she was met with a lot of criticism. It's like, oh, you gained weight. Oh, you're supposed to look like this. Oh, you're supposed to act this way. Very controlling, very hypercritical. So I see a lot of that actually. Growing up, so the adults over and over, they keep saying the same thing over and over. So unfortunately, a lot of them were criticisms. And then as adults, they carry it over. But this time, it's not their own parents telling them. It's their own thoughts telling them. Their own voices telling them over and over.
Would you say, Dr. Kat, diba, comparing, especially for fathers, like, why do you not look like your mother who is fair, who's sexy, always doing that to your child? That can bring in mental problems.
Yes, or because like, what's the hidden message?
Yes.
So if you're insinuating that you're an ugly child, and then it's coming from your own father, like, that's so painful. Because if it's a stranger, no problem.
Yes.
But if it's like, your primary caregivers, the people who are supposed to have your back, the people who are supposed to keep you safe, the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally, ouch. It's like my own father finds me so ugly.
Ako naman po, I see it naman the other way around. Maybe because of too much exposure to social media. Because nowadays, social media is projecting perfection.
Oh, yeah.
And that's actually one thing that is really something that is very challenging to women now.
Yes. But then at the same time, there are also social media projecting like being comfortable in your own body. Like, I do remember, so I am Gen X, and I do remember growing up, like beauty standards were to look Caucasian. Like Caucasian, nobody else. It was later on because like what's that? The Taiwanese soap opera came in. Like Boys Over Boys Over Flowers, something like that. That one. And then suddenly the Oriental looking looked pretty. And then before, like
the K-pop sensation now comes in.
And the Spanish. The Spanish teleserye.
And then like even now, there's also an embrace also on like the morena skin, like, and accepting your own culture, accepting your own race, accepting your own type of beauty. Although I do agree with you, other times also people still want to look like the box. So they all have all the plastic surgery and they all look the same, which is so unfortunate. But I guess at the same time, like, people have their own definition of beauty. We have different preferences. So it's like, okay, then if that's your preference, like, why not? As long as they can afford it.
Probably external society dictates you to be this kind of physical attributes. That's why Czai was saying social media, environment, friend. You see everybody so fair, and you're the only one morena, whatever, right?
Yeah. But then, if it's not something that is like pressed upon, I don't think it would be a problem.
Yeah.
So if like even if you're the only dark-skinned person in the group, but if it's like nothing, like no matter what color is your skin, but you're all treated the same, I don't think it would be a problem. So it's a matter of how the group of people would like celebrate the differences and instill the ideas whether there is a difference and whether it's something that you would like to praise or would you like to criticize.
And so it's also important po, Doc, no, that the partner will make you feel secure about it.
Agree. I agree, Sai.
Yeah, for both men and women, or men and men and women, or it's like ultimately you want to allow them to feel safe, that they can be comfortable in their own skin, they can be themselves, they can trust you, like they can be vulnerable towards you. So when you allow that type of safety, and then perhaps they can let their wall down, and then perhaps they can be more open and more intimate in that relationship. So when it comes to like those instances when maybe your partner seems to like reject you, perhaps you would like to understand what is the story behind it. Perhaps it's not a rejection towards you, but there is something going on that's happening to your partner.
Yeah, there might be a backstory.
Yes.
Okay, now let's discuss the intersection of trauma and intimacy. From your professional perspective, Doc, in what ways can past trauma impact a person's ability to form or maintain intimate connection?
Okay, so when it comes to intimate connection, you need trust, you need control, you need safety. And that's a big problem when you have trauma. So if you have a problem with trauma and you have a problem with trust, safety, and control, definitely there would be a problem when it comes to building intimacy.
Yeah.
So, like I mentioned earlier, they have to feel safe. They have to feel they're comfortable in their own skin. They have to feel accepted, and then they have to feel like they're allowed to be vulnerable. And if they show their vulnerability, like, they're not going to be judged or labeled as broken, but they're going to be accepted and loved.
But most of the time, if your partner really doesn't understand this set of trauma, and your partner doesn't really communicate, how would she bring back the trauma that happened to her long ago? And probably the husband was probably not really giving her advice really good. You know what I mean?
What ran in my head was get another partner.
That's good.
Because communication is the key.
Yes.
If you're married to this person, it's like, why are you uncomfortable to talk about yourself with this person? So it says a whole lot. So it sounds like this person didn't allow you to feel safe. So get another partner. but ultimately, really, really important is to have that communication.
Agree.
And we would like both to be open-minded to understand what each other went through, because it's not necessarily just one. It could be both have their backstory. And we would like to understand, inquire, instead of like pointing out their flaws. And then we would like to accept instead of be judgmental. So all in all, like both of you would like to communicate, understand each other, and allow each other to feel safe and accepted.
And it's nice, I think, Sai, as a partner, if you cannot solve, why don't you ask your wife, I want to bring you to somebody, or do we want somebody to help us?
Yeah,
to intervene
To intervene, right? Professionally.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's actually showing vulnerability. Like, you are suggesting to your partner, hey, we both have a problem. Let's seek professional help. So, imagine if the communication is so bad, I don't think the person would be comfortable enough to even bring that up.
Exactly.
So get another partner.
Yes, I may cut you, Doc.
Yes.
As I see it, it's like a Wi-Fi connection between two people.
Yes.
If the connection is good, the relationship will be healthy and strong.
Yes.
But if the connection is bad, of course, it will disrupt the intimacy.
Yes.
The feeling that they have inside. So it's really important to have a good mental state.
Change your provider.
So we go to another question. How can partners provide meaningful support during the healing process without making the other person feel pressured?
Yeah. So, definitely, we don't want to force the intimacy when the person is not ready. Perhaps you can like get to know each other first. You don't have to like go straight into the intimate things. You would like to understand the person as a whole. You would like to get to know the person, the good and the bad. You would also want to show yourself to your partner. And then you also have to respect the healing process. So it may take a whole lot of time. So you don't want to rush the person. You don't want to force the person. So ultimately, if you pressure the person, you force the person, it's like re-traumatizing the person. So it's like you're even making a bigger problem.
But like what you're saying, diba, Sai, Doktora, I think that time will be very, very important, because if the duration of time and the intimacy becomes not seamless, it's like fading, probably your partner will think of something else or even look for someone else.
So I would say in case that is a big issue, maybe the partner who encountered that trauma, and maybe that trauma is causing a whole lot of dysfunction. So it's affecting how that person views him or herself, how he or she interacts with others, or affecting his or her like work productivity or like studies. Perhaps that person would need to seek professional help, because what if they are undergoing psychiatric conditions that actually hinder this person from establishing intimate relationships?
But Doc, my question is, how do you approach your partner to seek help? And then, diba, parang, how do you approach the person na, babe, we need to...
But parang initially, sabi mo, I did not know you have this problem in the beginning when we were married. And that's another problem, right?
Yeah.
Now you're like showing me you have psychiatric problems now?
Well, at the end of the day, okay, although I talked about changing your partner, but part of acceptance, as long as there is mutual respect, there's love, it's through sickness and in health. Till death do us part.
Agree.
Yeah, so it's like you would allow your partner to feel safe, so you can reassure your partner no matter what happens, you will be there. You will wait.
Yeah.
Like take his or her time. Like no problem. It's not a burden for you. So if you're able to do that, then you're allowing this person to heal, and then you are also showing that you are somebody that he or she can consider as safe.
Wow. That's a big weight, huh?
A big sacrifice.
And a big sacrifice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So that's why it's love.
You know that
Love conquers all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those who are struggling with the effects of past trauma, what strategies do you recommend for them to recall their doc?
Okay. For past trauma, so if I'm gonna think about psychiatric conditions, so I'm thinking about acute stress disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder. So there are many ways to manage these symptoms, these conditions. So there are times that we would recommend medications, but there's also such a thing as talk therapy or psychotherapy. So it could be like in relation, like therapy in relation to the trauma. So cognitive behavioral therapy, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, exposure therapy. So there are different types. So you're better off going through these types of therapies with somebody who is trained in terms of trauma response. And then there are also other things that we can do, like relaxation techniques, grounding techniques. So it's something that we also teach our patients. So in cases that they have those episodes, they can go to those techniques. Yeah.
So parang it's a nutshell like what Dr. Kathyrn saying, that the couple should go and for treatment, if ever, who else?
Yes.
Who amongst them has problems and communication is well geared in order for them to achieve the intimacy that they want from the trauma they might have before and correct it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much for joining us this evening, Dr. Kat, and sharing your insights into becoming healthy again after traumatic experience. When we come back, Naked Minds will be writing out our doctor's orders.
Abangan ang talakayan ng mga kabataang may talino, may tapang, at may puso.
Lahat ng mga estudyante ay may karapatan sa pag-aaral.
Naiintindihan namin yon. Pero ang tanong, feasible ba yung pinapropose ninyo?
Ang tinig ng kabataan, ating pakinggan dahil ang bawat argumento may punto. Kasama sina Faith Santiago, Princess Jordan, at Kuya Jude Asidre. Balitaktakan, tinig ng kinabukasan tuwing Sabado, alas 6 ng hapon, dito sa IBC 13 at Congress TV. Pangarap mong maging milyonaryo? Sa PCSO Lotto, magkakatotoo. Mas pinasaya, mas pinabongga, mas pinalaki ang mga jackpot prizes. Araw-araw ang bola, kaya more chances of winning sa PCSO Lottery Draws. Lunes hanggang Linggo, tuwing 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m.
Ang palitan ng salita sa pagitan ng majority at minority nauwi sa isang walkout. 11 senador ang lumabas ng sesyon noong Martes para tutulan ang umano'y minamadaling amyenda sa rules ng Senado. Ang issue, papayagan ba o hindi ang pagboto ng mga senador virtually? Bigo ang unang attempt ng NBI at CIDG na hulihin si Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa. Yan ay matapos na ibasura ng Korte Suprema ang petisyon ng senador na ipahinto ang pag-aresto sa kanya sa bisa ng arrest warrant ng ICC. Wala raw merit ang hiling ng mambabatas. Ano nga ba ang kahihinatnan ni Senator Bato sa oras na maipadala na siya sa ICC? Sasagutin ng ICC Assistant to Counsel Attorney Cristina Conti.
All that and more sa Ang Senado ng Pilipinas ngayong linggo, 9:30 a.m. sa IBC TV 13 at sa aming social media pages.
Abangan ang mas pinalakas, mas pinagandang balitaan at talakayan dito po sa The One 1206. Ako po si Vic De Leon Lima, mag-aatid ng pinakasariwa at pinakamaiinit na balita dito sa The One 1206.
Kaibigan, are you getting confused with all the fake news? IBC 13 will guide you with steps to determine fake news. Check the source. If it's reliable, take a background check on the site, its writers, and its mission. Check the credibility of the author. It might give you an idea on how trustworthy the author is. Check the date of the news or article. Sharing old news might confuse recent events. Look for supporting sources. Gather data and info to support the story. Ask the experts. It's another way to get credible info and data to support a story. Assess your own belief. This might affect your judgment when considering news to be fake or not. You won't get confused with fake news anymore. Here on IBC 13.
Healing from trauma and shame is possible, but it takes awareness, intention, and determination.
And compassion, especially toward yourself.
Reflecting on our conversation with Dr. Kath, what are your meaningful takeaways?
Me, I think, one is communication.
Yeah.
3, understanding. Both partners should develop that productive, knowing that one might be in a defect, not really defect, might have mental health problems. But like what I'm saying a while ago, how can you detect it? You yourself is not a specialist on that, right? Then what Dr. Kat was saying, seek professional help.
Seek professional.
Like you?
That is very important.
What is your takeaway then?
For me, Doc, love, intimacy, they both go along together. And it's really important for the two to bond together so that they will both understand their feelings for each other and the problem that is taking inside their body.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sai.
One powerful idea is this: shame grows in silence.
And healing begins when we feel safe enough to speak. Okay, so again, Zai, it's communication, understanding, and there is non-deliberate accusation of the individual if you find that there seems to be mental problems. Mental problem health related to intimacy, okay? Like what Dr. Kat was saying, you have to wait. But I was asking a while ago, we were asking, how long will you wait? Probably the husband might not wait too long, right? So in doing so, I think then you have to have professional help coming in, right? Do you agree?
Yes, Doc. Professional help is really important. And of course, respect. If you really respect your partner, of course, love is there and everything will just go smooth.
Agree.
Healing is not about going back to who you were.
It's about gaining choice over your body, your boundaries, your stories. Okay, so know yourself, know physically, know your heart, emotion. Like what you're saying, love and intimacy has to be mixed together.
Yeah, they have to
blend.
Together.
You agree?
Yes, Doc, they have to go together. And so...
And so... trauma can change how we see ourselves.
And shame can make us believe we are broken.
But those are beliefs, not fact.
They are wounds, and wounds can heal.
With the right support,
The brain can relearn safety,
The body can rediscover pleasure.
and the heart can trust again.
Please do join us on the next episode of The Naked Minds. Again, I'm Dr. Joseph Lee.
And in behalf of Dr. Dale Abellanoza, I am Czai Chua. We hope we're becoming one of your habits.
Because honesty is
the
healthiest habit. Join us again next week here on Naked Minds.